last week.
You sound a lot better.
I'm still a little sniffly. Like I still got that thing where you get like a booger, like kind of up there. So you kind of get that droney voice, right?
Yeah.
But for the most part, I feel good.
Whatever bug was going around definitely lingered for a little bit. I'm finally just coming down from it, but it's a lingerer for sure.
The great thing is I got that good feeling of when you cough, you like feel it coming out.
Yeah.
You know, and that's always like a blessing after having that stuff just inside you for so long.
Yeah, this bug is like the guy at the party that is still hanging out after you turn on the lights on, and like, you know, when you're gathering up all the empty bottles into the bag, like everyone's gone, and the guy's like, "Hey, so what are you doing tomorrow?"
And hey, can we make some coffee?
Yeah.
He's got like an acoustic guitar out. He's like, "Bro, like, come on."
Oh no way, you got the box set? You're like, oh god,
yeah, that guy. Yeah. So I'm feeling a lot better, so that's good. But how was your week, Bill?
Dude, I didn't think about my week until you just asked me that question. I was like, I don't really have a slow week. No, I did not have a slow week. I soloed for the first time an airplane on Sunday.
Wow.
Out of John Wayne. Major life event. It was absolutely fantastic.
That sounds exciting.
Yeah, I'm going to have some videos up on YouTube, so if you guys want to check that out, it's Bill 4LE YouTube.
So it looks like you made it.
I did make it.
Yeah.
So the way that soloing an airplane works, it's pretty much the same no matter where you learn how to fly a plane. So the very first time you solo, you go out with your instructor and you do 3 full stop landings and taxi backs. So I've been doing touch and goes where you just touch down and then keep rolling and take off. So a full stop taxi back is you land, you come to a stop, you taxi off as if you're done flying.
So you can take a shot of pickle juice.
Take a shot of pickle juice real quick, and then you go back to the runway, to take off again. So they're called full stop taxi backs. So you do 3 of those with your instructor, and then he gets out, and then you do 3 of your own solo.
Full stop taxi backs again.
Full stop taxi backs again, yeah. So it's pretty short in terms of how many landings you do. Like it's not a long full day thing. So I did 2 landings. They were great. The third, and which would have been the final one with my instructor, was a little bit rocky. It was windy. I mean, it's like John Wayne is an insane place to fly at and to solo. And I even asked him while we were up in the air, I was like, this is a crazy place to solo. He's like, oh, dude, this is insane. Like, I mean, it's just jet after jet. And there's this thing called wake turbulence. When a heavy jet is coming in, there's what creates lift is there's these big vortices that come off the wingtips, and they're spiral down, and they're really dangerous. And there have actually been planes that if you fly through them at the right time, it'll flip you over upside down. Like
that sounds dope.
Instantly.
Yeah.
Super dope. It's not as dope when you're 80 feet from the ground. So you have to be really careful when a plane has just taken off or has just landed. You got to land a little bit longer, or you have to time it so your plane is not flying into that wake turbulence. So that you kind of get in your head a little bit about that. Like if a plane's landing and I'm like, okay, I've got to be a little bit higher than normal, and it just kind of takes you out of the normal comfort zone of a regular approach. So the third landing was a little bit rocky. He's like, let's just do one more. And I was totally fine with it. Like I wasn't anxious to get him out of the plane at all.
Yeah.
And then the third one was good. He hops out on the airport. Like we're right off the runway. He's standing next to the sign, for the runway, like just standing there. And I did my full stop taxi backs. I did one go around. I got really, really wonky, and my palms are sweating. I'm just
mom
like
spaghetti, all that.
Yeah, mom spaghetti, freaking out. Bounced it a few times. Dipped a wing. I'm just like, oh crap! Just went full power and went around, and it took me like. I was nervous.
I bet.
Yeah, I got nervous, but yeah, I did it. I did the ceremonial, like cutting the back of your shirt, and the whole thing. Had a little party afterwards, so that was fantastic.
So they cut your shirt off, huh?
Yeah, it's traditional, like first solo thing.
Sounds perverted to me.
Pretty pervy.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
How was your week?
Pretty uneventful. Trying to think if anything exciting happened. I've just been busy around here. Everyone's kind of going crazy right now.
Q4 picking up.
Q4's got it getting started. We're having some issues. So been kind of a heated week. To be honest, not to say too much, but let's just say it's been a kind of a heated week over here. But other than that, it's been good. I'm excited for Black Ops comes out this weekend.
Okay, yeah, and so we played on stream the Battle Royale.
We played both.
Okay,
it was like a month apart. At first, we played like the regular like deathmatch mode.
Okay,
and then we played the Battle Royale.
I missed that one. Okay,
and so yeah, it looks fun. I'm excited to play it. I'm torn on whether I'm going to spend $60 on it or where I want to play it. I mean, that's kind of the tough part right now. Is like I would want to buy it on PC, obviously, because that's where grown-ups play games. But but like I have a brother and a lot of friends that play on PS4. Some coworkers are going to buy it on PS4 because they're not really PC gamers, and it'd be fun to play with them. But it's like, am I a baby? I don't know. Should I?
Yeah, man. I mean, since I've come to the light side, I've thought about that too. Like, what do I do in that cross-platform situation? I still have a couple of friends that have consoles, and
The thing that gets me is I know PlayStation always has a better audience for these games. Like I think the Black Ops or the Blackout mode might shift that a little bit, but in general, if you buy Call of Duty on PC, it's dead in a couple of weeks.
Really?
Yeah, like it does not hold up.
Yeah.
Right? But this time it's launching through Blizzard. It has a VR mode. Like there's a lot different about this launch.
I didn't realize that about Call of Duty on PC.
Yeah, but in general, buying Call of Duty on PC is like a mistake. So,
lately, buying Call of Duty at all has been a mistake.
Well, that's a whole nother.
God, I used to be such a big fan of that game.
Yeah, so great. It used to be
so good,
so great. And I think this new one has hints of greatness. I think the VR mode seems really cool. I think.
We had fun on Battle Royale.
Yeah, we had so much fun playing, right?
We had a lot of fun, and we traditionally do not have fun in those types of game modes.
We generally don't have fun playing video games as a group. We were just talking about this today in the meeting, how we are like the worst at playing games and the worst at playing games together. Like it's
but which to me makes it fun. Like I love that we hate it because it is kind of unique. Like I hate playing video games with you guys.
To a point. Yeah, to a point. It does make sense. And to a point I agree. But it's like I don't know. I don't know what people want to watch. You know what I mean? Like I think that's really the curveball there is it's like we all speculate on what we think people want to watch. And some of us think people want to watch us like make stupid jokes and run around in circles. And some of us think people want to watch us try to win.
Be really, really good.
And some of us think people want to watch something in between, right?
Yeah.
And the problem is all of those different ideals happen at the same time.
At different times.
So no one is being served, right?
No.
Like no one is getting what they want out of the stream.
It is just video games in general right now especially is so fluid because like there's so much cross-platform. There's like I would have never thought that Call of Duty experience on PC was any worse than it is on console, whereas Battlefield it's the opposite. Like it's usually better on PC than it is on console. Who the hell knows? And I get that there's different people playing on the different platforms, so it changes the dynamic of the game and all that crap. But there's never a right answer or a formula. It's just kind of like per game, per system, and then what.
And even like per social group, I think that's what's so hard, right? Is it's like maybe you got a bunch of weirdo Xbox friends,
yeah,
right? Like that's where you play.
Your crew just got the first early adopter got an Xbox, so then everyone else had to get an Xbox.
Like it mystifies me here that the whole studio team here plays on Xbox, like not Call of Duty, but like games in general.
Yeah,
I walk in and they're playing Destiny on Xbox. I'm just like, do you hate yourself?
Yeah, and
what?
And it's got to be because of that, right? Like somebody has an Xbox.
Yeah,
they were the first one to get it, so the guy's like, okay, I got to get the next gen. Like, what'd you get? Oh, I got a PS4. Okay, I got an Xbox. Like, it's usually there's the one early adopter.
Yeah, one guy.
That's how my friends have always been. Like, it was whoever got the console first. It's like, well, okay, I have to get. And if you have both, you got to pick which system to buy the game on. You're like, oh, crap. Well, Xbox has the exclusive, but Bob's got a PS4. Like, crap.
Yeah, it's crazy times.
It is.
It's crazy times. What do you do this weekend? Anything planned?
Nothing planned. Yeah, I'm gonna just do some editing this weekend. I've got a couple of flight videos that I want to get up. A couple of the solo flight and kind of testing the waters of the flight vlog.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's kind of cool. I mean, I'm kind of coming from the simulation world, so I do have a lot of simulation followers and stuff, but I think they're very interested, and they have at least shown interest in the crossover between the two.
Yeah, I'd like to make more published videos, right, than just like stream videos
Yeah.
and stuff. So
Yeah, and it's fun. I think I told you earlier that I do enjoy the editing. Like, it's kind of therapeutic, and
yeah,
so
that's like when I do this. I have a podcast to edit every weekend.
yeah,
So I feel you there. It is kind of nice to kind of just get into it and
yeah.
hit your stride. So no games today because we got a action-packed.
We've got an
Newsday.
action-packed show for you today,
we got a
folks.
lot coming up, guys.
Buckle in.
Yeah, but so let's get into some of this. Bill, what's your what story you got?
Okay, so I've got stuff on the Intel launch. So this is coming from PC Gamer Paul Lilly, and obviously PC Gamer. So this is the gamer-focused take on these CPUs. And we've got some interesting takes. Tony and I talked about this earlier that we wanted to share with you guys. With all these stories, you've probably heard these, so we don't want to just regurgitate news stories. We want to, give you the high level in case you haven't heard of any of these, and then kind of give you our hopefully unique take. So the Intel says that the i9 9900K is the best gaming processor in the world. That's the title of this article by Paul Lilly. So I'll just read basically the first little bit of this. An excited Intel held a live stream earlier this morning. This was from 3 days ago to formally introduce its initial 9th generation core processor consisting of 3 SKUs: the i9 9900K, i7 9700K, and the i5 9600K. They cranked the hype dial to 11. This one goes up to 11.
Wow.
I love that. Stating that it's breaking the laws of physics to bring you these parts, and trumpeting the Core i9 9900K as the best processor in the world, period. So then there's some, super nerdy stuff about the 14 nanometer manufacturing process, all that kind of crap. So the interesting part about these processors is the clock speed. So here's the breakdown of the 3 different processors.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with the i5. So we got the i5 9600K. That is a 6-core, 6-thread, base clock of 3.7 gigahertz and a turbo clock of 4.6 gigahertz. So that's the base one. That's the i5. The i7 is an 8-core, 8-thread with a 3.6 gigahertz base clock and a 4.9 gigahertz turbo clock. And then the i9 9900K is an 8-core, 16-thread, 3.6 gigahertz base and 5 gigahertz turbo clock processor. So there's some things about these speeds that are interesting. The lower core count i5 has a slightly higher base clock speed than the other two, but it is much lower on the turbo clock, so 4.6 versus 4.9 and 5. Then the 8-core i7, 3.6 and 4.9. So something tells me that Intel is probably throttling these turbo clocks just to kind of fit them into, the pricing structure.
I'm sure your 9600K can get you 5 gigahertz if you.
Yeah, and it probably is actually even a better overclocker, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And then you've got the i9 3.6 and 5. So last year we saw kind of a almost like the horsepower wars with the German car manufacturers, like a core count war between AMD and Intel. Mm-hmm. And you've had Intel's 16-core, 36-thread X series, whatever the hell that's insanity was.
Yeah.
And then you've got the Threadrippers and the AMD just going with basically more of I don't even know what those cores were. I don't know if you know the top of your head.
Hundreds.
Just like
thousands
of cores. They were just making it rain cores. But the clock speeds were a lot lower.
Yeah, low clock speeds.
So from a gaming perspective, And I play a lot of X-Plane, and there has been a lot of talk in the flight sim community. And I want to hear your take on this from the game communities that you're involved with, Tony. That the flight sims are not optimized for multi-threaded application, so they like single, maybe dual core, but higher the clock speed, the better. And the fact that they haven't been optimized for some of these larger core count CPUs is kind of frustrating for people that have adopted some of these, latest gen CPUs.
Yeah, I mean, that seems to make sense, I think, across the board. There's very few games that truly take advantage of like these multi-core setups, right? I mean, I think there's some advantage when you're running, you're streaming, or, you're running different system applications while you're playing your game. You got Spotify running and some other things. So, yeah, it's nice to have multi-cores to kind of manage the load. But in general, your games are going to be limited by your single core performance, right? PUBG was like the first real offender there, right? Where we saw that game needed a ton of single core performance. Like, you almost needed to be at 5 gigahertz to have a quality frame rate in that game. And it really didn't matter if you had a single core or 16 cores, or, like, run as many threads as you want. It's not going to change what's happening here. And, as someone that's been involved in PC gaming for a really long time, since I've been playing PC games since, I don't know, like the mid 90s, like ever since Core 2 duos were a thing, like the promise of games taking advantage of multi-core CPUs and processors has existed, and it's never really paid off. They've never really found a good way across the board to illustrate that. Some games do take advantage of it, but it seems to be few and far between. And so I think it's when I see this launch and I see these numbers, and I'm just like, it's incremental. You know what I mean? Like, I have an i5 7600K right now.
Okay, yeah.
And I am in no hurry.
That's what I have, I think. Yeah, 7600, yep.
I'm in no hurry to, like,
no way,
move up. You know what I mean? Like,
what's your clock speed?
I think I run my turbo at like 4.5 or 4.6 right now on air cooling.
Yeah, that's what I have. I got the 212 Evo, and I have it 4.6. I was at 4.7 when I was living up in Seattle, but I came down here. I just like, I'm going to move it down.
I haven't had any issues with the clock speed. Like, not even a hiccup.
Yeah.
So, it runs fine. I don't have any issues with it. Like, when I look at these, especially like I saw some benchmarks, which were like pre-release or whatever. And it's better, but like, it's so minimal, right? Like these Intel launches are always so uneventful because the improvements are so incremental, right? It's like every year,
Yeah. And just, so you guys know, as you're listening to this, these won't be released until the end of this week if you're listening to this on the release date.
Did you see the pricing?
I did see the pricing, and nothing.
See how much it costs at Newegg versus Amazon.
Yeah,
it's so weird. Like, I don't know. It's so maddening, right? As people who have a connection to a certain company, it's mind-boggling how we can miss so hard.
Yeah,
at that like.
Boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
But the bigger story to me, I think, was how they're positioning this. Like, it seems like they've kind of turned the corner from the core count chasing and are going towards something that we can actually take advantage of.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's going to be, game changing is arguable. Unlike NVIDIA, like RTX ray tracing, like we're not going to be able to use that for 3-4 years. Whereas easier to get higher clock speeds. If you're not an overclocker and you don't really play that game, you can go into your BIOS and click, whatever your BIOS boost is, and boost up this
Be a 5
i9 to
gigahertz,
5 gigahertz. That's pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
you'd have to actually tinker before to get to that.
Yeah.
Like our i5 could probably hit 5 gigahertz pretty easy on like an AIO. I wouldn't want to do it on air. It could probably do it, but
could probably do
I
it on
wouldn't
air,
want to
yeah.
like render videos all day
If
on that.
your workspace was cool, like if you were in a
Yeah,
air conditioned workspace.
yeah, it's not like super hot and you got a good case and you got good airflow. It could probably do it, but to have something that's kind of out of the box, ready to do this, I think is pretty interesting. But just CPUs in general, like it is such a mind-boggling. I think because we take it for granted because we have processors everywhere now, we take for granted how complex they are.
Yeah,
They're phenomenally complex.
they're also very simple.
Dude, I don't know how
You know how
can
computers work?
Yeah, well, correct. If you break it down to the 1 and 0,
Yeah.
it is simple from that perspective.
Yeah,
yes.
it's like clockwork.
Yeah. And when you think about how you're interacting with that processor, whether it's on your phone or in a computer game or watching a TV show or something, every bit of that interaction breaks down to a 1 or a 0. That's mind-boggling.
Well, and it's it's still this processor just streaming out these 1s and 0s as fast as it can.
Yeah.
And in as big a chunks as it can.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And in as many cycles as it can in
Now,
a given time period.
A lot of you probably know this, and I'm probably going to misstate something, but for those of you that are kind of in the dark about processors, you have would you explain it? Like a web, I guess, of transistors. So it's just like a bunch of on-off switches that are cut into a wafer of silicone.
Yeah.
And those wafers are stacked and kind of arranged, and the manufacturing process is insane.
It's kind of in an array.
Yeah, it's an array of on-off switches. And the clock speed, which we were referring to, which we kind of, glossed over the fact or took for granted that you might know what that is. So the 3.6 gigahertz and the 5 gigahertz, those are basically on-off cycles of the CPU per second. So a 5 gigahertz is 5 million on-off switches of a CPU every second.
Is it million? Yeah, so hertz. Yeah, okay, millions. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hertz, megahertz, gigahertz.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So every second that CPU is turning on and off 5 million times, 5 million cycles. There's a little piece of that CPU that's regulating that.
Yeah.
And then within those 5 million on-off cycles every second, there are however many transistors. I don't know the numbers for these CPUs, but it's in the hundreds of millions, and these are probably closer to trillion, I would imagine. I think it's 700, 800 trillion of those tiny little on-off switches. So just say for an easy number, 5 trillion on-off calculation. So it's either a 1 or a 0 happening 5 million times per second.
See, it's simple.
It's a simple when you break it down to a binary standpoint, but how that is able to be packed into an inch square.
Well, I think what's crazy is that
amazing.
it's the same as a punch card computer.
Yeah, you're right.
It's the same general process that we've used to make computations since the 50s and the 1950s.
Yeah.
And, it's crazy that we haven't evolved past that yet in some ways, right? That we've just kind of refined and shrunk that process down until we can do a whole lot of it. But it's no different.
Like the early ones were like 1,000 nanometer architecture, and now we're down to 14 nanometers. So Moore's law, is like every 2 years processing power transistor size doubles or whatever Moore was.
I mean, the early ones were like straight up vacuum tubes.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like
is it on? I mean, you could physically see if it's a 1 or a 0.
But it is crazy, and it's crazy how simple and complex that whole system is.
Yeah. But it was from a PC gamer perspective and really a content creator perspective as well. This news was again, we don't have any benchmarks yet because the CPUs haven't been released. Any numbers are going to be very binned, hand selected CPUs and stuff. But at least it was. It seemed like their messaging was better than NVIDIA's with the RTX launch. It was more gamer focused.
That's for sure.
So I just wanted to talk about that. I thought we needed to talk about new Intel processors, obviously, but
it was very very big news.
Yeah, the performance of it I think is good. I don't know if it's going to light the world on fire from a sales perspective because it is very incremental, but it's heading in a very cool direction. And if you're in the market for the latest CPU. If you get any of these three that fit into your budget, you're going to have a really, really good CPU for years.
You're going to be smoking.
You're going to be smoking.
Smoking.
Yeah.
All right, I got a story for you. After all the smoking processor talk, let's talk about something that's really smoking on fire. The Google Pixel 3. Everything you need to know from Android Central, written by Joe Maring. Thanks, Joe. Following months of leak after leak, Google's officially taken the wraps off its Pixel 3 and 3 XL smartphones. The two handsets look exactly like what we saw in all the early photos and renders, and while the element of surprise may be gone, we've still got two impressive Android handsets to talk about. Without further ado, everything you need to know about the Pixel and Pixel 3 XL. Let's hit some highlights. Here are the specs. Pixel 3 and XL will look very similar. There's 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage on the starting. A Snapdragon 835 processor has been replaced with an 845, so the newest Snapdragon. The displays are a lot better, this says. It's an LG OLED. Then there's some quotes from DisplayMate here, but let's not get into that. 400 plus nits of brightness. I do not know what a nit is.
I don't know what a nit is, but I know that 1,000 is like a really good monitor.
1,000 nits?
Yeah, 1,000 nits is like a high-end monitor. So 400 on a little phone is pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's a lot of power. There's 3 colors. One called Just Black, Very White, and Not Pink is the third color. Not pink. It's pink.
That's the sound of my head hitting the microphone. Son of a bitch, Google.
What I do like is it has there's a couple things I actually like that they announced in this thing, and I'm going to kind of focus on those. So one of them is it's a wireless charging stand, like for like your bedside stand that sets it up.
Is included?
No, you have to pay $75.
Okay.
But it basically turns your phone into like a Google Smart Assistant. So it's like OK Google all the time. Right, like if you would like a Google,
if you have a Google Home Mini or something,
a Google Home
there.
or something,
yeah.
It basically replaces that Google Home in your bedroom.
Cool,
right? Which is nice. There's camera improvements. There's 2 front-facing cameras now, which is why it's got that hideous-looking notch in it. That thing is terrible.
Ugh.
But there's one thing that stood out when I saw that I really liked. Okay, and that's not even in my Android Central thing here. Marquise Bolden. I don't know if you ever watch his videos.
Yeah, I like his stuff.
That guy's the best.
MKHD.
Yeah.
What I see, MKHD. That's not a. That's
okay.
Doesn't mean anything.
MKHD. He was talking about how on the Pixel 3 XL and only on the Pixel 3 XL and regular, they're rolling out a service for your phone, and it's a Google Assistant service, and you turn it on, and if your phone rings, your Google Assistant will answer the phone and find out who's on the call, and you can accept or reject the call at any point without ever actually getting on the phone. It'll visually display what the conversation's happening. So the Google Assistant will answer the phone and be like, "This is Tony's Google Assistant. How can I help you?" And you'll be like, "Hey, this is Bob from the dentist office. I was looking for Tony." And I can be like, "Hey, I need to talk to the dentist." "Oh, this is Tony. What's up, man?" Or it could be like, "Hey, this is Tony's Google Assistant. How can I help you?" And it's like, "We are calling on behalf of," and you can just not take the call. It can pre-screen. It'll screen your calls for you and give you a visual readout of what happens.
Google, I hate a lot of the things you're doing right now, but that just gave me chills.
That's amazing, right?
That is really freaking cool.
So amazing. I'm like, I want that so bad.
Well, they're the ones that had the demo a month or so ago, right? Where the AI voice had some ums in there.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like freaking people out. Like, are you going to disclose that this is not a real person? And they said, and I just heard this recently, this was maybe last week, that a Google executive said that those ums that they left in there with that assistant voice were actually placeholders for them computing things. So it gave the AI time to actually come up with an answer.
So like a human ums.
Just like a human. So it was like, let me get back, let me check the calendar. So that's really, really cool. I don't necessarily want to go down the road of debating whether or not that's creepy, because I think it can be used nefariously at some point. But as you've described it there, that's the perfect use for that.
Perfect. I couldn't think of a better way to use that or implement that.
Yeah,
right?
That's really well done, Google.
To have it just be like, hey, this is Tony's personal assistant. How can I help you?
Yeah, and again, Google, you are really pissing me off lately, but that you got an extra point for that one.
Yeah, it's so good.
That's really, really cool. In the next couple years, I think those robotic spam calls are supposed to go up in frequency.
Yeah,
so it's a perfect time for another method of combating that. There'll be a counter to that, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Which will be interesting to see what the robocallers decide to do with that. But really, really cool.
Yeah, it is super cool. The notch looks hideous.
It's really dumb.
Yeah, it's so dumb.
The Huawei phone has a notch too coming out. It's smaller, but dude, why?
The Google notch is massive. Like, it is so bad. It's so big. It is like, I didn't like the iPhone notch.
No, the iPhone notch is really bad.
I never understood like why there's need to like have a notch. Like, just put your camera up there if you want it up there.
Yeah.
It's okay to have a little bezel. Like, a little bezel never hurt nobody. Right?
Yeah, I go back and forth a little bit. Like, I don't like it. I firmly do not like it. I see where they can be, it's like a stat thing.
Mm-hmm.
Their screen's a little bit bigger. I love how Apple has hidden the notch even on the packaging of the iPhone, the XS or whatever the crap it's called. So stupid. Yeah, it's not an intelligent workaround.
It's a super poor design.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a poor design. And I wouldn't mind if it was like U's that captured like each camera lens.
Right.
Or something that like, just the notch seems so lazy and like half-hearted.
Yeah, like put it over on one corner and kind of make it like a little bezel out of the corner or
something, right?
Yeah. But I think this is going to be like the slide out keyboard of 2007,
like the roll around screen or whatever.
Yeah, because this is an opportunity for companies to actually innovate, because the people hate it so much. Apple knows it, which is why they try to disguise it.
Yeah.
Google will probably do the same thing too in some of their marketing materials. But I've seen stuff where like a camera will pop out from the top, and there's some other, interesting workarounds to that. So it'll be interesting to see who comes out on like what method wins the day.
Yeah. Who comes up with a good solution for this?
Yeah.
It is interesting, and like, it's just so hideous. There's so many things I don't like about cell phones right now, and the notch isn't even the biggest one, but it's just another thing where you're just like, I like these phones, but I really just don't want this. Like, like my interest level is so small, because of things like the notch and no headphone jacks. And,
and the Pixel doesn't have a headphone jack now. You're dongled up now, man.
Another day, another dongle, man. I can't do it. I don't want to live that life.
Well, what do you think about, I had this criticism too with the iPhone, the cell phone color, the body color.
Yeah.
Do we need that anymore?
No.
Everyone has a case. I actually don't.
I don't case. I'm not into cases.
I'm a no case guy. I'm actually even no D-brand skin guy. I'm just naked. I got a screen protector. But most people have cases on their phones.
I'm no case, no screen protector. I got one of these little pop mothers on the back though.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
I can see that being useful.
That's kind of nice.
So yeah, I don't know. I mean, just I guess, but They know. I'm sure they know, and I'm sure the answer is yeah. People do want different colors, and certain colors, sell more than others. But to come up with like goofy, kitschy names for like that's just kind of silly.
Just have a bunch of colors. Who cares?
It's plastic. Paint the plastic. Like, we'll have whatever freaking color you want. Whatever freaking color you want. You're spending $1,000 on this stupid phone.
I want Nintendo 64 colors.
Great. Gray.
Clear purple.
Oh, yeah. The clear purple one.
Yeah. Oh, clear purple.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
Give me a bunch of freaking colors.
Clear green.
Oh, my God.
That'd be dope.
That would
but
be
instead,
dope.
we're stuck with not pink. That's pink.
It is pink. I know you're telling me that it's not pink.
It's pink.
But I have worked around your trickery, your nefarious marketing tactics. That's pink.
It's super pink.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I want to be excited about the Pixel phones, but it's like I watched all these videos and read the story, and I was just like, I'm excited about one thing, and that's caller ID.
And
that's
that
software.
Is the software part.
Yeah, and that's software. I mean, they're going to limit it to this phone. But it's software. It's not even part of.
Yeah, I would. They're gonna release that
eventually.
Yeah,
eventually.
It'll be everywhere.
But yeah,
and then now Siri's gonna do that. Hello, I am Siri. I am Tony's Siri.
I gotta talk to you about something. It's not this.
Can we tell everyone else? Can we say it?
Yeah, on here.
Okay.
But I forgot when we talked about what I did this week.
Yeah,
I forgot something, and it really is what I've been doing like this whole week. There's a TV show that I watch that is ridiculous. And it's called Terrace House.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Big Mouth. I was like,
Big Mouth is great.
It's like, oh, come on, my dude.
And actually, Nick Kroll was on the Joe Rogan podcast.
Oh, I have to watch that one.
Like yesterday.
Listen to that one.
Yeah, it's really good. But I watched a show. It's called Terrace House. I've been watching it since way back.
Terrace,
yeah, like a terrace, like in front of your house. And it's like the real world set in Japan. So it's like 6 Japanese kids between like 20 and 30, 3 boys, 3 girls. They put them in a house. But you think like, oh boy, like it's a big real world, like they're all gonna be smashing. But you gotta remember, they're Japanese kids, so they're all just like passively trying to like hook up with each other and very polite.
So sorry.
Right? And then so sorry. Yeah, and it's like,
everything like really random weird things are blurred out.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, I'm sorry, I left a dish in the sink, and it's like, oh, it's okay, I washed the dish, and it's like, oh, I'm so sorry. It is amazing. It's the best show I've ever seen.
Where can we find this?
Netflix.
Oh, that's easy.
It's on Netflix. So there's 3 different versions on Netflix right now. Okay, there's 3. They're basically seasons, but they're more than one season. There's one called Boys and Girls in the City. That's in Tokyo.
Okay,
that's the best one. That's the original Netflix one. It's the OG. It's if you're gonna watch one, you gotta watch that one.
Okay, that's like the real world Seattle.
Yeah,
wasn't that the jam?
Oh yeah, that was like on the wharf.
Yeah,
their house.
Yeah,
it was a nice house.
That's the one that I remember.
I remember San Diego because I lived in San Diego.
San Diego one was good too. Yeah.
MTV was always in San Diego, by the way. As someone that's from San Diego, they used to always do like spring break in San Diego and stuff, or like summer beach house in San Diego.
Yeah. What was that dating show where they were on the bus?
It was like Next or like
Next.
Was it?
Was it Next?
It was something like that.
Yeah, I think it was Next.
Like, I was gonna say like Nope.
Yeah.
So there's Boys and Girls in the City in Tokyo. There's one in Hawaii. I can't remember what it's called, but it's stupid. It's fine, but once you've watched the first one, you're like, this is. It's a bunch of like half Japanese people.
Okay,
so they're half American. So they're just like drunk skanks and stuff. You know what I mean? It's fun. It's like, oh, this is like weak ass real world, right? Like, and then the 3rd season they go back to Japan. This is like the snowy mountains. It's super cute. All right, they build like snowmen and igloos and shit. All right, it's great. It's not as good as the 1st season, but the 3rd season's good too.
All right, I'll have to check that out.
So,
that sounds fascinating.
I know this is like a crazy intermission. But for some reason, I just was not thinking about it. And literally, it's the biggest thing that happened this week. I am seriously thinking of starting another podcast where I talk about that show with my friend.
That dude, let her rip.
I was gonna. my idea is that I'm gonna get like fancy takeout. We'll eat the takeout and review the show and
Beautiful.
review the takeout.
Yeah, it's good. That's YouTube content right there.
Yeah, I think it is good YouTube content.
Yeah. All right, we'll all check
Sorry,
it out. That's
I was
quite the recommendation.
I'm telling you, if you watch, like, start it on a Friday because you're gonna be watching it for like 20 hours.
You're just gonna just blitz right through it.
Yeah. I also watched the Good Place. Have you seen that?
No.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, I've tried to limit my.
Kristen Bell, was that her name? The cute blonde. She's in Veronica Mars.
Yeah, Kristen Bell.
Yeah, she's in it. She's great.
Yeah,
she's like a real likable.
She's a cutie.
Yeah, she's a real cute, likable person.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Oh, I loved her in Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
She's good in that.
That cast is so good.
Very good.
Mila Kunis is great.
Sneaky good movie.
Sneaky good. Mila Kunis is so good.
Jason Segel coming off of I Love You, Man.
Yeah, I like Jason Segel.
Me too.
And I like Russell Brand.
I liked him in that a little bit more than I've liked him in other things.
I kind of like him as a person.
I saw him. Okay, the first time I saw Russell Brand was, I think, this was a long time, 10 years ago, 2008, I want to say. And it was on some random British show. I was really into the BBC.
Mm-hmm. I like BBC.
It may have even been before 2008. So it was like a UK only New Year's special, and it was like a panel of British celebrities, and he was one of them. And he stole the show, like absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, there was like some big name British celebrities in there, and it was like a weird panel, and they had different games that they would play, and it was like teams of 2 and whatever. And this dude just was an absolute nut job.
Yeah.
And I've watched that show like a couple times, going like, what is it about this dude that's like charmingly obnoxious?
Yeah, well, he's sober now. So
that's why you don't see him anymore.
No, it's different. I mean, he does like a podcast now. I've seen him on other people's podcasts. And
some people hate him.
Some people do hate him. But I got to say, like, the thing I like about him is the thing I appreciate about a lot of like current eccentric people is that he is not trying to speak the language of like the millennial. You know what I mean? Like that. There's one thing that drives me crazy about
like in a pandering way.
In a pandering way, right? There's one thing that drives me crazy right now is that everyone wants to pander to this like millennialese, right?
Which, by the way, is from 38-year-olds to 26-year-olds right now, like completely different people.
Everything from your political beliefs to your language to your hate for police, right? All has to like be in line to this very one note kind of Twitter language, I feel like right now. And I feel like people like Russell Brand, who you could never claim is anything but liberal, right? He's British. He's definitely not a fan of our country and our government. You know what I mean? But he's also, I feel like, very authentic and very
reasonable.
In some ways reasonable, right? In some ways totally unreasonable.
Yeah.
Right? But I think he's authentic in a way that is undeniably charming.
Yeah.
Right? And
I found him charming in a very weird way.
Yeah, and to me that's all I want from someone, right? I don't care if we completely disagree and you have thoughts that I think are crazy. If I know that you're like authentic and just like trying to do the best you can, I'm going to be your fan, you know? And I feel like he really does that. And I like it. I find it captivating. But that's another tangent. Sorry.
Yeah.
That was Forgetting Sarah Marshall. All right, it's all right. We'll go into your story. One more story. I think we got time for one more story.
Okay, yeah. So this is a left turn here. So Tony doesn't know about this thing.
I have no idea what's about to happen.
But this is going to make me mad. All right, Facebook made you a smart home device and there's a camera. So this is from Wired by Michael Calore. All right.
Mr. Calore.
Paisano. Hopefully it's not Calore. I'm going to pronounce the E like he's Italian.
Maybe he's Mexican, bro.
Okay. Yeah.
Calor is Mexican for hot. It is. Like temperature. Like if it's warm outside.
Yeah.
It's
I'm getting hot over this freaking story because Facebook is a bunch of assholes. All right, so the Facebook portal is their new smart home thingy. And they were going to release this, but then their founder and CEO was called to testify in front of Congress.
The Zuckerbot.
Yeah, freaking Zuckerberg. So they delayed the announcement of this until now. And I mean, now's not a good time either.
No, it's a bad time.
But it's before holiday, so they wanted to get it out before the holiday season. So price point is interesting. There's a Facebook Portal Plus for $350, and then there's the standard portal for $199. The difference with this one is that it includes a camera and a screen. It uses Alexa, so the AI on board is powered by Amazon, which is whatever. I mean, I don't know what Facebook, what kind of AI stuff they've got going on. I mean, they've got something, I'm sure, but they, Amazon's already underway and whatever. So they integrated that with this. It's interesting that it's largely a hardware solution, it seems like. That's at least the differentiator. Like, they don't do anything different in terms of functionality, but it is hardware based. And it doesn't matter, but like the screen is like a Lenovo or some whatever. Like, it really, really doesn't matter. JBL speaker or some crap. Like, who freaking cares?
Yeah. What's the meat of this thing?
The meat of this thing is that it is connected with Facebook Messenger. So Facebook is selling this as essentially a home phone system that you can make video calls with, and it will actually follow you around. So
Does it have legs?
Dude, it may as well. Okay, so the camera on the front of the portal runs a bit of software with the on-the-nose name of Smart Camera. The lens has a 140-degree field of view, which is pretty wide. It's on par with a GoPro lens. So it can see, a big chunk of your room. But when the Smart Camera software recognizes a human in the frame, it crops the image and zooms in and does it smoothly like a skilled cinematographer would. Get up and walk around. The camera will follow you, staying zoomed in. And if there's more than one human in the room, the portal will zoom out to recrop and fit everybody in the frame. If you want to zoom in on just one person, tap the screen and select spotlight mode, blah, blah, blah. So there's some...
keeps zooming in on a person that's not there.
Dude, freak out time.
Ghost.
So that is obviously very weird. Now, Facebook did intelligently add some hardware features in there where you can turn the camera and the microphone off. So you can actually put something in front of the lens, which a lot of people, use Post-it notes for now. Which kind of defeats the purpose of having the thing in the first place, I think.
You got to switch it on and off. It's kind of like...
Yeah, same with my Google Home. I know they're listening. I have it in there. I don't turn the mic off.
Yeah, it's like, who cares?
Who cares to a large degree? But the fact that Facebook is the one doing this... again, Google is as guilty as Facebook is, if not even more.
Yeah.
They're just not in the news about it as much. But this is the potential for this. And shockingly, Facebook says they're not going to use any data that they collect for this with third parties.
What's the problem?
And if you believe that, you are stupid.
What do I mean? He said that.
If you hear that
Mr. Zuckerberg said that this was private data, and he will never tell.
You literally, this is not hyperbole. If you believe that, you have mental health issues that you need to get looked at immediately.
Yeah, I probably do.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's so dumb because I feel like the smart home speaker momentum has slowed down a little bit.
It just seems tone deaf.
Yeah, it's very, very tone deaf. They've obviously been developing this for a while, and they had it, in the springtime. So they are sitting on this technology that they have to release and sell. So I understand
they don't have to.
They don't. But I understand the timing of it. But it's just it's so intrusive for what they're currently in the spotlight for.
Yeah, and just the perception already of Facebook, and not even perception, the reality of what Facebook is and how their business operates and generates revenue. This kind of device just highlights kind of exactly what the problem is with Facebook. You know, like it seems like custom catered to further delve into your personal life and collect data and do what they will with that data at their discretion, regardless of their claims. You know, like it's just one more checkbox where they're like, oh no, you told us we could use that data. You know, like
Right.
Frank, right now they're telling you they would never share, but it's like, no, but you told us we could, so that's why we do.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, like
we weren't going to
until you told us to. Yeah.
But you know, or even beyond that, like you told us we could. You didn't know you did, but we didn't for years. But now we, you know, to improve the service, now we're using that data. I mean, that's what they're gonna.
Yeah, like, you know, you don't want Donald Trump to win in 2020, so
yeah,
we had to use.
More to the point, we don't want him.
We had, otherwise the Russians win, so we had to use it.
Sound logic for a company. It says the company says it will not listen to, view, or keep the content of your portal video calls, and that your calls are secure since they will take place over Messenger and are encrypted in transit. Portal also offers the ability to delete your voice history and Facebook's activity log as often as you want. So you got to go.
I just do all mine in the nude, and no one would watch them.
Yeah,
they'd be like.
It's like, oh no, Tony's bending down. Tony's doing toe touches again.
He's making it again. Turn it off.
Damn it. Why are we taking this info? What is this going to do?
Yeah, this guy's worthless. Don't record his calls.
We can't sell this data to anybody. But I don't know who said this. I would like to give this quote credit because it is just spot on. But if anything is free, if you're given anything for free, you are the product.
Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking it was Thomas Jefferson.
That was Thomas Jefferson for sure, yeah. Yeah, he said, you know.
Anyone who would forsake money for products deserves neither, or something like that. Right? That was TJ?
Probably TJ.
Yeah.
He said a lot of good things.
He's a smart dude.
Very smart dude. So that's something to consider with where all this data is going.
Yeah.
It's going to be used for something at some point. And it doesn't really even interest me from, like, I have a Google Home. I've got 2 Google Home Minis. I've used them very minimally, honestly. I get the weather. I get like a sports store or a score or something, you know, like, or how tall. So like, hey, how tall is Russell Brand?
Yeah, I had an Echo, and like for a while, my habit was like wake up and be like, Echo, what's the news? And get like that little news blurb they tell you. But even that like fell off, and you know what I mean? It's unplugged somewhere.
Yeah, I just I don't use it enough to really like have it be a part of my life.
Yeah. And
this added functionality of being able to make video calls over Messenger on a screen that's just sitting there, it doesn't.
Yeah, it's so unattractive.
Data mining aside, selling our information to the Russians aside, I don't find there's any compelling story to be told here.
I'm not into like FaceTiming.
Yeah, me neither. This doesn't do it for me. And it compounds the fact that it's Facebook and it's this type of device and it's going to be intrusive.
Let's just get rid of Facebook.
I would love to.
Let's just throw them out.
I would really love to. It's the only way I have to send pictures to my stupid family that, you know.
It's the only way I prove to my family that I'm alive without having to actually talk to them.
Right. Yeah.
No disrespect. I love my family.
I love you guys so much. But yeah, if there's something that I'm like, I've got a cadence where it's like every couple of weeks, if I post something to Instagram, I'll go, all right, post it to Facebook too.
Yeah. It's like I want to have like a family meeting and be like, hey, family, I'm 35. I live in a big city. I really don't want to talk to you guys.
No.
I'm fine.
Yep.
Doing okay. But, you know, I'm kind of like at that point.
Yeah, you guys ruined this platform for all of us. So we don't go on this anymore.
Yeah.
And that's going to remain.
Yeah, you guys share stupid things. I don't want to be
really stupid things.
Yeah, if the things that like my cousins and stuff share are so retarded. Like like anti-vaxxer shit and like chemtrail stuff and like the most like hand-picked like the government is racist stuff. You know what I mean? And it's just like there's plenty of compelling evidence why the government is racist. Okay. This is not it.
Oh, you can make a story. That's the best part about these conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
You know,
well, it's always some video of like you know, like a kid, like a poor kid. It's like, oh, you know, this kid like used to be happy, but then Donald Trump like took his family away, and it's like,
yeah,
no, I don't really think that's what we're looking at.
No, that's a picture from 2005.
Yeah.
And that kid is playing Oliver Twist in his school play.
Yeah, I know this is Syria, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was just like the most. There's a lot to like complain about in the world right now if you want to, right? But it's like nothing you share on Facebook is worth sharing. Like, it just never is.
No.
So why don't you just like type in a happy story or tell everyone how you're doing or tell anyone like where you found good tacos? Like, don't share this.
No.
Please, please don't share this.
No one cares.
No one cares.
You're losing friends.
Yeah, and you're losing your mind.
Yeah.
It's not even about your friends. Like,
well said.
The emotional like slippery slope people go down. And I mean, I'll tell you this is not a partisan issue. I am constantly berated for being a centrist, right? But both
a centrist.
That is like the that is the thing that gets thrown at me the most is that I'm centrist. And it's so funny that
How
is
the hell is that a bad thing,
bro?
Good Lord,
you don't know.
I love how we like tech news. We're bringing you the latest tech news. We're gonna stay out of politics, and every single time we do one of these,
it's all tied in. We're talking about Facebook, but people just.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like.
I like it. I know.
Every angle of my family shares shitty things on Facebook that I hide and never want to see again, and it makes me never want to talk to them again.
Yeah,
and that is
with me,
that is outside of any political orientation.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like
just weird stuff.
Just
weird,
just
weird,
creepy shit. Where it's just like no one needs to be making fun of anyone's children, or you know what I mean, or like it's just so weird. It's so inappropriate.
It's a lot like it's dirtier. It's dirtier than Instagram, and they're owned by the same company.
Yeah, totally.
But it seems like Instagram is far more, for better or worse, and a lot of times it is worse. It's a lot more curated because it is imagery.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of like it's all happy stuff. Mainly, it's look how great my life is going.
Well, I think Imgur is like younger.
It's for sure skews younger.
It's not
100%.
like it's not this era of people that are like it's not the chainmail era of people,
right?
Right, and that's what
the worked up baby boomers.
That's what Facebook is.
Yeah,
and stop posting fucking naked pictures of your babies. Like, now that you mention
I
it.
don't want to see
like
that.
I don't want. No one in the world wants to see your naked baby, except for pedophiles.
Yeah, why put it on the internet?
So why put it on the internet? Like your friends aren't into it.
Yeah,
and anyone that is into it is a pedophile.
Just be mindful of it.
Yeah,
like if your kid's having like running around naked, out back, and it's summertime and it's kind of cute, and you want to capture the moment. Like, all right.
I don't care if it's like,
right.
he's got like a mask on. You can see his butt, right? Because his pants fell down. And he was running too fast, and whatever.
Right. It's cute. That's cute.
That's fine.
But not the like.
If it's just look at my naked
photo
baby,
shoot.
Look at my child's vagina in the bathtub. Oh. It's just like, how dare you? How dare you, parents?
I hate you, internet.
It makes me so mad. Like, because it's like the least respectful thing you can do to the people that are willing to look at your content.
Right.
It's be like, here's a baby vagina, and it's just like,
it's just unnecessary. It's just not necessary.
There's nothing necessary about it.
That's what I'm not necessarily like offended by it.
I'm offended. I'm offended.
I know you are. You're coming in hot with that. That's Tony's button. I'm not offended.
I'm offended.
I just think it's unnecessary. I just don't think.
For one.
I just don't.
All right. For one. I got a 1. I'm holding up a 1. Okay. For one, that child does not want their vagina on the internet. All right. Someday, that child is going to be old enough to know that they're gonna flip through this timeline and be like, "What the
Why
fuck?"
would you do?
Yeah, and how come only Uncle Frank commented?
Yeah,
on
how
it?
come I only have 12 likes on this too? What the hell does that?
Well, and
say?
it's like yeah, Uncle Frank that always like, touches your butt at Christmas
Yeah.
is the only person that liked this photo.
Yeah.
Like, come on,
Great.
come on, mom,
Great, mom.
come on, mom.
Thanks, mom.
Yeah, it's offensive. It's offensive. If you're one of these people, stop it. And don't listen to my show.
Unsubscribe.
Please.
I don't think we can afford that though, can we?
We don't.
Listen, stay subscribed. Listen, turn it on, and then just walk away. Don't listen to it, but have it play.
Every time you post your stupid, ugly baby, post a link to our podcast.
Please.
Please.
At least we'll get some,
Yeah.
some click-throughs from it.
Yeah, some listeners. Oh, my God. But, yeah, I hate you people. But we can afford it because no one pays us anything.
That's true, because this podcast is free because we're stupid.
Yeah, it's completely funded by me.
We're really, really dumb. So we're giving this to you for free because we're stupid.
Okay, I think that's it for today. What time is it? Oh, yeah, we've done plenty of time.
Lovely.
Bill, where can people find you?
You can find me at, where am I going to send you? We'll go YouTube. YouTube.com.
YouTube?
Yeah, youtube.com/BILL4LE. There's going to be some new content on there that I'm pretty excited for.
Oh, that's exciting.
So, yeah.
Okay, you can find me. It's the Tone Face Killer on Twitch and Twitter. TONEFACEKILLAH. I'm really thinking about changing it. It's a little aggressive.
Yeah.
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 You can
I
also,
like it. I like the look of it. I think it looks nice typed out.
I might do TFK.
But you got to do something where you could rattle it off quick.
TFK.
Like Bill 4LE is I love it and I'm sticking to it, but it's kind of hard to explain because you can't say Bill 4LE.
Yeah. I might just do Tone Face.
Tone face. TONE face.
FACE. Yeah.
I think we just landed on it live.
It's dumb, but it's kind of fun.
No, I like it, Tone face, because I call you Tone face.
Yeah, it's dumb, but it's fun. I like Tone Zone, but I couldn't get it. It's too spread out. There's
Yeah.
too many different people.
Too
that
many
own
toe
different
zones.
Parts.
Yeah,
Of
Tone face.
it. Email us, please. Actually, I don't think we had any emails. I checked earlier, but it's techyeahpodcast@gmail.com.
We will read your emails on the next episode.
Yeah, if you were here for the last episode, you would realize
We said hi to Alec.
we said hi to Alec, our number one super fan. And I'd also like to say what up to Mike.
Mike is also our number one super fan.
Our probably real number one super fan. But we appreciate you out there.
Yeah.
And
Who else we want to shout out? I mean, we know kind of who's listening. Julia. Hello to Julia.
Hi, Julia. How are you?
She's listening on her way to work, I'd presume.
No. Wow. Have a good day at work, Julia.
Yeah. Mike is probably listening to us on his way home from work or to work.
I hope you had a good day at work, Mike.
Yeah. Who else do we got? Christina and Jamie.
Are they going to listen this time?
They're probably
Not
not going to listen.
Well, Christina and Jamie, if you're out there, that's it.
Yeah. If you're out there,
Let us know. Send us an email.
Let us know.
techyeahpodcast@gmail.com.
Podcast.
Since you girls are so good at sending emails. Alec. We know Alec's out there.
Yes, Alec.
Big dog Alec.
Thank you so much for the correspondence. Keep it coming.
Yeah.
If you have something to say other than hello, we would love to hear from you.
Or if you want to say hi, say hi.
And you guys, please, if there's something that you would like our expert opinion on, good God help you for that assumption, but send us any news stories.
We're really good at romance.
Yeah, like
So if you got like girl problems,
romantic tips.
you need some tips from these two wild and crazy guys.
Yeah, we can have a new segment called Tony and Bill, the love duo,
Yeah.
the love doctors.
How to love.
How to love with Bill and Tony.
Mm-hmm. I like it.
Oh, dude, we're just a stream of consciousness right now of fantastic ideas.
Yeah, we got to sign off though.
the love corner.
Last thing I'm gonna leave you guys with is one potato fact. Potatoes actually come from Chile.
That's true. That is a recently discovered fact.
Yeah, potato facts.
Yeah, the Chileans. Thank you for the potato.
Yep. All right. Well, with that, I will let you guys go. Thank you very much. I appreciate you listening, and have a wonderful week.
Thank you, guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.